Hi, hello, it's Nikki and welcome to my messy bookshelf. Today I'm here with a tag video and this is the Name 5 tag. This is an original tag that was created by Sue Jackson at the channel, Sue Jackson, and this is to celebrate her 5th year on Booktube. She has also been a book blogger for 20 years, so congratulations Sue and thank you for tagging me. So the idea of this tag, as the name suggests, is to name 5 things, except for the first prompt. So the first prompt is, how long have you been on Booktube and when did you start your channel and what were your goals? So as funny as this will actually be my 2nd year on Booktube, just a few days away. So I'm going almost on 2 years and my intention was to make friends because I don't have a whole lot of people in my real life that read books or anything near the same kinds of books that I enjoy. So I just wanted to make friends. I just wanted to make friends and talk about books. Prompt number 2 is to name 5 channels that you watch most regularly and try to keep up with. I try to keep up with so many channels, and I know everybody knows how hard it is to keep up with all the channels that you want to. But I think the ones that I watch most regularly would have to be Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club, Pat at Book Chat with Pat, Art at Bookshelf Odyssey, Krista at Books and Jams, Sue herself at Sue Jackson, who else? Brindis at Brindis Reads a Lot, and I think, oh, and Cliff at Cliff's Dark Gems, because, yeah, he makes me laugh a lot. I think that's the main people that I tend to watch the most often, but I do watch a lot of other channels because, you know, it's so hard to keep up with everything that everyone is doing, but I try to. And, yeah, those are the people that I watch the most often. The next question is to name 5 channels that you enjoy that are smaller or newer and that you'd like other people to know about. I don't really know a whole lot of channels that are smaller than mine. My channel is pretty small, but I don't even think I have 5. Jessica at On a Stack of Books, her channel is smaller than mine. I think she's also a newer channel than mine, and she's the one I did my first buddy read with, and we are hosting Audio Miles together, and you should check out her channel. Someone that I recently discovered is Jonathan at Mr. Pearson. Is it Mr. Pearson Reads? Or no, Mr. Pearson Talks Books. And I have enjoyed going through a lot of his videos since I discovered his channel recently, like day or 2 ago. The Youngs and the Restless, their channel is not smaller than mine, but I think their channel is newer than mine, and they are a husband and wife, and they crack me up. They are a riot together. And then Tara Reads, she does she does only shorts, and yeah, she's actually someone who frequently comments on my channel as well. You'll see a lot of overlap on my answers with these questions. The next one is name 5 of your best commenters who may or may not have channels of their own, with whom you've developed a friendship just through commenting back and forth. Non-booktubers that I can think of off the top of my head. And the first one is Starla Cell. Always so kind, and we have talked back and forth on many of my videos. I kind of wish she had a channel because, yeah, we tend to comment back and forth quite a bit. Board Bookman, Marie, I don't know how to say your whole name because it's all together, but it's Marie Jose Drolet 9655. And she is someone else who we've talked quite a bit back and forth, as well as Board Bookman. And those are 3 people who are not booktubers. They don't have channels, but I always enjoy having a conversation with them. Who else? Pat always comments on my channel, and we've developed a friendship. Ellen, Brindis, of course, Brindis, my book twin. Who else? I'm trying to think who else comments all the time on my videos. Cliff does. And so does Art, and so does Sue. So a lot of people from prompt number 2 are people that I have developed friendships with just by commenting back and forth. Okay, moving on. Name 5 classics you love. And I did pull these down so that I could show you, because I didn't want to forget. So, some of you will know some of the books that I'm going to talk about, but I could not include The Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. This was one of the happiest experience I've had reading in my entire reading life, and it was a riot. It made me laugh out loud a lot, and it was delightful. So yeah, even just thinking about that book makes me smile. The next one is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, and this one is not a funny book. This one is just pure drama and scandal. This was a very scandalous book, but you know, this is about an aristocratic Russian woman who falls in love with someone other than her husband. So yeah, there's that. And there's one everyone has heard of, and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I think this was the first classic that I read because I wanted to. And yeah, who doesn't know Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy? This is one that I have returned to multiple times. Probably one of my most reread classics. So love this one. The next one, also one I have reread many times, and that is Dracula by Bram Stoker. So gothic, so creepy, so wonderful. I love the epistolary concept. I think this is the first book I ever read that was written in that way, with letters and articles and stuff. So I loved it, and I have returned to it again. And actually, yes, I'm wearing my Dracula shirt today. So I love this book. Love this book. And of course, I could not mention my other love of Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. And this one is another one that gave me pure joy when I was reading it, and laughed out loud. I cried. I just loved every minute of this book. So yeah, those are 5 classics that I love. Probably my top 5, maybe not necessarily. I'm not sure. I'm sure many of you can relate that your top 5 or your top 10 changes all the time. So yeah. The next prompt is, if you listen to audiobooks, name 5 audiobooks that are extra special because of the audio production. For me, and there is some overlap here, Don Quixote. And all of these are ones that I either paired it with the book itself, or I actually read the book and also later on listened to the audio. So Don Quixote was one. The Pickwick Papers. So some overlap there. Project Hail Mary. Oh my gosh. My favorite book that I read last year. The Wager. And that book was excellent too. My only nonfiction on this list. And then Why Mummy Drinks by Jill Sims, which I will talk about again in a minute. So the narrators on these books, just, they did such a great job bringing the book to life. So, and making me laugh out loud or feel emotion that I was supposed to feel. So yeah. And then the next prompt is to name 5 books that you loved, but that you rarely hear about and you'd love for more people to discover. So I tried very hard to think of these 5 books because there's quite a few that I could name, but I went with these 5. And the first one is Little Lord Fauntleroy by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I feel like this one always gets overshadowed by The Secret Garden and A Little Princess. But this one was just as excellent. This one is so sweet and so heartwarming, like her other books are. And it's about a little boy who lives in New York with his mother, and a lawyer comes to inform them that the little boy is now the heir to a great estate in England. And they travel to England and have to live in a castle with the very angry, cranky grandfather who I think is an earl. And yeah, he is very angry. He did not like his son's marriage to little Lord Fauntleroy's mother, so he is not ready to welcome them. And, you know, as in these books, things slowly start to change. The next one, I've talked about it before on my channel, and this is a middle grade, but, you know, I guess this one is too, but The Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White. This is one that always gets forgotten because of Charlotte's Web. And in my opinion, this book is way better, and it is funny, it is heartwarming, and it's just all the things. This is my first book that I fell in love with as an elementary school student. It's about a swan named Louis or Louis, and he does not have the ability to honk like his brothers and sisters do. So with the help of a young boy, he learns to honk with a trumpet and goes on many adventures with his friend Sam. The next one I mentioned earlier, and that is Why Mummy Drinks by Jill Sims. And this book is hilarious. This whole series is hilarious. And it just describes real life for a very tired and very disillusioned woman who has a husband and 2 kids, and just all the annoying things that happen in life that are funny when you read them in a book. And the way that she writes and the way the narrator presents it, it's just hilarious. Probably one of the books that made me laugh out loud the most, besides The Pickwick Papers and Don Quixote. Actually, I think this probably did more. I have returned to that again and again. The next one is one I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about, and that's Sophie's World by Justine Garter. I never knew how to pronounce this name, but this is a book that I read first as a teenager, and it's about a little girl named Sophie, and she receives 2 letters in the mail asking her, "Who are you?" And I forget what the other question was, but where does the world come from? And over the course of the book, she is corresponding with this mysterious person that keeps sending her letters. And it's, at one side, a history of Western philosophy. On the other side, it's a mystery, and Sophie is starting to question the world around her and her very existence. And there is a very wonderful twist in this book that I still love it all these years later. I think I read this book like 25 years ago, so love that one. And then the next one is one that I read 2025, the end of 2025, I think, or early this year, and that is The Memory Police by, oh my gosh, Yoko Ogawa. And this is a book set on an island, an unnamed island, but it seems to be Japan. And things, objects, and people are disappearing, and no one seems to notice that these things are disappearing, except for a select few, and those people have to live in fear of the memory police, the draconian memory police. And it was very sad, very terrifying to think of the stuff that happens in this book. But yeah, a dystopian novel where things are disappearing and ideas are disappearing, and there is a regime that is not allowing people to remember these things. So poignant, I think, is the word that I'm looking for. Very, oh my gosh, it's so worth the read. And I haven't seen anyone talk about this book, and I think it came out last year, so I was surprised that I hadn't heard anyone talk about this book. If I could find what year, oh no, it was translated in 2019. Maybe that's why I haven't heard of it, but I loved it. Definitely loved it. All right, I have rambled long enough. So So the last question, or the last prompt, is to tag 5 other booktubers. I have mentioned more than 5 booktubers. A couple of you have already been tagged, I believe, but I am tagging all of you and anyone else who is interested in doing this tag. If you have been tagged by me and you are not interested in tags, please don't feel pressured to do a tag. But yeah, I thought I would tag all of you because I would be very interested to hear what your answers are to these prompts. But yeah, that was the name 5 tag, and I thank you if you stayed till the end of this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.